Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Lindsay here with Paw Prints University. I just want to welcome you to our video on barking, greeting, walking, all those things. So if your dog pulls you on leash while you're walking, you're in the right place. If you are embarrassed to walk down the street because your dog is lunging and barking at every dog you meet, you're in the right place. Please stay with me through this video because there is some really important things I need to say to you guys. Listen, I was planning to talk about something totally different today. I wanted to talk about grooming and desensitization, and all those things are really important. However, this has kept me up for the past couple nights after talking to a client recently. I got a call a few days ago from a client who told me that their dog pulled them so hard that my client ended up with a concussion because she fell down. And I don't want that to happen to you or anyone else. I know, and I just want to make sure that you guys have the tools to succeed and can walk safely and confidently down the street with your dog, no matter where you are, no matter what they see. That sounds way better. So today we're going to talk about some basics on how we can keep you and your puppy and your dog safe. So let's get started. I have my top 5 tips today that I want to share with you. The first thing I want to share with you is about carrying high value treats. And when I talk about high value treats, what am I talking about? I'm not talking about buying the $20 bag from the gourmet grocery store for your dog. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things that are really stinky and really delicious to them. So what you can get at the regular grocery store, pick up some hot dogs, pick up some meatballs. What I like about using hot dogs and meatballs is that they're pre-cooked. So we only have to cut them up. So cut them up into small pieces, bite-sized, pea-sized pieces for them, and carry your treat pouch with you. So you want to get a treat pouch like this, something like this that you can keep your treats in. Some of them have a strap that go around your waist. Some of them you can keep your key in there so you can go for a hike and not worry about carrying extra stuff, extra poop bags, everything. So you carry this treat pouch with you everywhere you go. Now, how do we use the treat pouch? It's a great question because, okay, I have the treats on me and then I'm going to forget how to use them. So in my basic manners class, we talk about how to use our treats, how to get our dogs engaged with us, how to have them check in with us. So there's different tips and things that we can do to have them check in with us to make sure that they're staying with us, that we are more exciting than the squirrel across the street, that we are more exciting than those 3 dogs that are actually barking at us. We're going to show them proper etiquette. So that's what we want to do when we have our high value treats, is that we become more exciting than the squirrel. So that's my first tip. The second tip goes along with the treat pouch, is about proper gear. So we need to gear you up. I know, you don't want to carry one more thing. I'm talking about carrying a treat pouch that's going to clip on to the side of your pants or your belt. I also suggest getting a well-fitted harness for your dog of any age. Even if you have a small puppy, we can start practicing putting on those harnesses. And that goes back to what I really wanted to talk about today, which was about desensitization. So we can talk about that here while we are really focusing on getting you guys safe and out there on your walks. So what I'm talking about is introducing the harness at a young age so that they just think of it as another fun thing that they get to do, because again, use those high value treats, and we are going to introduce the harness real slow. We're going to show them that every time we pull out this harness, they get a treat. So it's going to be exciting. Their tail's going to wag and they're going to get really excited about putting on their harness. So you want to get a well-fitted harness. The ones that I often recommend is the No Pull Freedom Harness by 2 Hounds Design. I love this harness. The basic reasons why is because it has a clip on the back and a clip on the front. And I really like the 2-clip system. It helps with management. It's a management tool. It is not a training tool. I need to make that clear to you guys. It is a management tool, and I really like this harness. So I could talk about that for the next 20 minutes, but we're going to move on. So we can use a freedom harness like this. They also make another kind of harness called an Easy Walk that has a front clip, also a fabulous choice. They also make one that goes around their muzzle that I also like. It helps redirect their face, kind of like if you were walking, riding a horse or something. So it just redirects their whole face, and it takes the pressure off their neck. Both of these things are going to take pressure off their neck. If your dog has some kind of an injury, or they are a certain type of breed that needs a specific type of harness or something, reach out to me and I can give you some more details. This is for a basic healthy dog can use a Freedom harness. So that's my tip about the harness. The next piece of equipment that I really need to share with you guys is about leashes. And there are hundreds of different styles and colors and shapes of all sizes of leashes. Now, if you have a retractable leash, and you've heard me say this before, if you have a retractable leash, please do me a favor and throw it away. Do not donate it. Do not give it away. Just throw it out. Those retractable leashes are dangerous. They are so dangerous. I could tell you stories for days. Just look it up online. They really are very dangerous, and they don't help when you see a squirrel or distraction. They have no idea how to react when they're on those retractable leashes. So please do me a favor. Do not use them for training. Do not use them for your walks. I have other really wonderful resources for you for your leashes. So my favorite leash, because we want to talk about what I use for my training every single day. I use it for my own dog. I use it for all the dogs that I walk and all the dogs I train, is a Mountain Dog climbing rope leash. And these things are amazing. Ask any of my clients who use them, are sold on how awesome these are. The reason why I really like them is because, one, they're pretty indestructible. Although if you have a hard chewer or a really excited puppy, they can chew through this. The cool thing is Mountain Dog will replace it for you. So they're really great, made in the USA leash company, and they use reclaimed climbing rope. So what's cool is that it wraps around my waist because it has this handy O-ring on here. So I fit it to my waist, and then I can use this for training. It starts out as a 7-foot leash. I wrap it around my waist. It becomes however long subtract how big your waist is, and that's how short your leash is going to be. And you have this like 3.5 foot leash that you can use for easy training when you're in your house and when you're on walks. So it's a really wonderful leash. It's great. It also, if you don't want to wrap it around your leash, it has 2 hooks. One can go on the front of the Freedom harness and one can go on the back of the Freedom harness. And so you can use that as another really awesome management tool. So I just got back from a hike with the dog and we used this leash and it worked like magic. It's great. So I really highly recommend that. So speaking of that, I am inside, as you can see. I just got back from a hike, and what I want to remind everybody, and I've talked about this too, is that we need to start practicing our walks indoors. Indoors means that we put on the leash and we start walking around our house. Especially if you have a puppy, they may not be ready for a long walk. So it's fun to get them used to it, to being on the other side of a leash, and to practice walking nicely. And when I say practice walking nicely, they need to check in with us. We don't want them pulling. We want them to focus on us. So there are some basic cues that I like to reinforce, and those are watch, touch, and wait. So those are 3 of the cues that we learn in our basic manners class, and also we can learn them, other ways too. And those are really good ways to check in with your dog and have them connect with you. Every time we use those cues, we're rewarding them with the high value treats we have. And so again, we are bonding with our puppy. We are having them focus on us. We are teaching them that we are way more exciting than everything that's going on around them. As you can tell, I am really passionate about this. It makes me so sad to see dogs lunging and barking and freaking out when they see other dogs or squirrels. And I have to tell you that I have personal experience with my own dog, Jilly. So she is a terrier and she wants to let the world know. And it is a challenge. She has she keeps us on our toes. And so I have to practice and be very vigilant with her. I have to remind her that I'm really exciting. So no matter how tired I am at the end of the day, when I take her for that walk, that hike, I grab my pouch of high value treats and we start practicing indoors before we go out. We practice on the steps in my front of my house before we get onto the trail, and we keep practicing. And so I have to keep reinforcing that positive behavior. So this doesn't go away overnight. It has a lot to do with how we practice and engage with our dogs. So that's the other thing I wanted to say, is that we have to pay attention. So that's my third tip, is paying attention. Just like I said I have to do with Jilly, you guys have to do it too. You got to help me out. You got to help out these dogs. The dogs, sometimes I have to tell you something, they're smarter than we are. They understand what's going on, okay? And so they need us to be as smart or smarter than they are sometimes. And we're gonna do that by putting our phones away, by not talking to our neighbors for a long time, and forgetting that we have a dog on the leash. Because just like they forget that that we're at the other end of the leash and go storming after a squirrel, we often can forget that we have a dog on the other end of the leash while we're talking with our neighbor and not engaging with our dog. So when we are with a dog on leash, especially a dog who has a tendency to respond by lunging or barking at other dogs or squirrels, we need to be vigilant. So paying attention at all times is really key, especially, again, let me just say, especially for a dog who is reactive and who has a tendency to chase or lunge after other animals. So please pay attention. The last thing I want to say, and I've said this before, these are my 3 things that I'm going to keep saying, is about being patient, consistent, and practice. Practice, 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 practice. The other part of this is that when you are walking your dog, when you come across, I'm going to call it a trigger, so a squirrel or another dog, what we often like to call it is pivoting. So you're going to just turn the other way. And while you're not yanking the leash necessarily, you are just like redirecting. We're going to turn this way. We can teach a cue about turning the other way, like U-turn, and we are going to just go the other way. While we're making the U-turn, we are rewarding with the high value treats. So we are going to pivot, turn around, and we're going to keep walking in another direction. So we want to keep it moving. Sometimes you'll see people who will stop and just treat their dog while another dog is walking by. That is helpful. You can do that. That is one suggestion. You can hide behind a car. You can go up into someone's lawn. You can, just whatever you need to do to get out of the eyesight. Because sometimes once a dog sees that squirrel, they get fixated on it, right? They are on prowl. They're going to get that squirrel no matter what. And unless they're a little 12-pound wire-haired terrier named Jilly off leash, they're not going to catch that squirrel. So we need to help them remember that we're more exciting than that squirrel jumping up that tree. So what we're going to do is get them away from this situation, and we're going to reward them with some positive training. So when we remove them from there, then once we can get their focus back, we're going to practice some of the cues that I had mentioned earlier. Watch, touch, wait. You can do a whole bunch of different games and cues with them throughout your walking experience. And so they love going for walks with you. All right? They love it. We do want our dogs to explore. We do want them to stop and sniff. We do want them to check out what's going in the world around them. And we want to remind them that when they are on a 3-foot, 4-foot, 6-foot, 7-foot leash, they need to be respectful of our space too. So we have to teach them something totally different than is inherent in a dog. Like a dog they're not used to being on a leash. That's not a comfortable thing for them. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that we need to practice. Practice, practice, practice. Start inside and then go outside. And I really hope that all of these tips have helped you guys today. I'm really passionate about making sure that we have our dogs be safe and that you feel confident and successful and calm when you're walking your dogs. If you need some more tips, if you need some more guides, I just put out this really, really great guide called Strut, Don't Stress. And you can grab this guide today. Once this video gets posted, I will make sure that the link is there so you can sign up and get your own copy of Strut Don't Stress. It's a great guide. It comes with a step-by-step. It comes with a checklist. So for easy access, and it gives you some really good tips on how you can, all the things we talked about here and more. So go check it out, Strut Don't Stress, and we will see you back here next week for more tips. Thanks, and get out and enjoy the sunshine.